New tonight at 10, the West Virginia Department of Human Services stopped in Parkersburg tonight for its statewide child welfare tour. Community members across the Mid-Ohio Valley gathered at the Wood County Resiliency Center to share ideas, barriers, and solutions to help improve the state's child welfare system. The listening tour will gather input from various groups of people over 8 sessions to create a statewide report, which will then be used to guide future changes. A common takeaway from several attendees was realizing they are not alone in the challenges they have faced with the West Virginia foster care system. Alex Mayer, the Secretary of the West Virginia Department of Human Services, says the tour is a way to work with the people they serve toward a solution for the child welfare system.
Times, I think, too often in government, we put the solutions in place thinking it's going to fix it, right? Without really getting input from those that the decisions are going to impact. And so this is that opportunity to do things differently, where we listen to folks and take their ideas and take their solutions and implement them in a way that we're able to.
Associate Director of Mitch Lundstrom with a company called Guidehouse facilitated the meeting. He says the report will be drafted by the end of June and published in early July. To find out what people said and about the listening session, head over to WTAP.com.